Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
The #1 long-form writer that helps SEOs outrank competition at the click of a button using real-time research and NLP. Start ranking content today with contentatScale.ai.
Good morning. I think it's still morning. Yes, it is. How's everybody feeling? Last session before lunch, you must be hangry by now. Please don't come at me. I didn't plan lunch, okay? My name is Pascalle Bergmans, and I'm here to talk to you about SEO. Very different type of SEO than you've seen here today, because I don't know anything about SEO. So I'm going to talk to you about story effect optimization. By the way, if you're thinking, what is that accent? That is not an English name. I'm Dutch, so I'm representing Holland. Are there any other people from Holland in the room? I hear you, sister. Amazing. Thank you. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to talk about storytelling. And I know you hear storytelling absolutely everywhere at the moment. It's everywhere on LinkedIn, it's everywhere on Twitter, it's on every blog page and wherever you look on the internet. Why? Because stories is what gives us life. But first, I need to make a little confession. As you know, I don't know anything about SEO. I'm not technically inclined at all. When I was asked to speak here, when they told me, hey, you can come along, you can speak, I was a little bit surprised. I had to go and Google what the hell SEO actually is, so I could write a talk that would apply to this audience. The reason why I applied to speak here was because a friend of mine said, this audience, the Brighton SEO audience, can really use a little bit of information on storytelling. Because apparently, this is something that gets overlooked all the time when we talk about storytelling. So, how do we optimize your stories so that you can optimize your pages? My background is in musical theater, okay? I used to be on stages like this all the time, shows like Wicked, Les Mis, Mary Poppins, you name it. And all those stories did was take people on a journey. For 2 hours, you were in a completely different world. And that is what we want to do with your sales pages. Now, before I start talking to you about storytelling and how you can incorporate it in your SEO strategy, I want to give you a little bit of an overview of what storytelling actually is. Because there is no right or wrong answer. But us as humans have done this all of our lives. If you go to a funeral, people tell stories about the person that's deceased. If you go to a wedding, people tell stories about the bride and groom. If you come home at the end of a long day, you sit at the dinner table, you talk to your partner, and you tell them what went on in your day. That's storytelling. We all know how to do this already. However, when it comes to things like selling, writing sales pages, or writing any type of content, we seem to completely forget this. We don't want that. If we go back to the Greeks, there's a guy called Aristotle. Don't know if you heard of him. If you haven't, look him up. He came up with what we call the communication theory. The communication theory talks about the 65, 25, 10 rule. 65 of your communication should be pathos, which loosely translates to stories, empathy, make me feel something. 25% of your communication is logos, which is numbers, data, facts, statistics. And only 10% is ethos, which is you as a person, your credibility. So long story short, nobody really cares who you are, if you're the CEO or the janitor. We care about the fact if you can make us feel something. Can you make me believe in your product? Can you make me believe that your product is going to solve my problem? So how does this apply to SEO? When I did my research for this talk and how I could apply storytelling into an SEO strategy, I spoke to a couple of SEO experts. And there was one problem that seemed to arise with everybody. And there's one misconception. Views don't equal sales, all right? Views don't pay your bills. Views on your webpage doesn't mean that those people are going to become paying customers. So the goal is not using the right keywords and getting people on your page, because I've been told that's what SEO is. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But we don't just want those views. We want those views to turn into money, okay? We want those views to become paying customers. We do this through storytelling. Like I said, a lot of people think storytelling is quite wishy-washy because we don't really know how to do it, how does it even work, and it's different for everybody. And that's why we want to work on frameworks. And I'm going to share with you a framework today. But before I do so, a little bit of explanation on how people make decisions. If I land on your website because I've been looking for whatever I'm looking for to solve my problem, I land on your website because you ranked really high in Google. That's only the first step of the process, all right? Now you need to make me want to stay on that website. How do we do that? Storytelling. What do we need to do that for? Emotional urgency. Emotional urgency is something you'll hear me talk about a lot today, so get used to the word. What is emotional urgency? Emotional urgency is what we need to create in order to get people to make a decision. Because decision making is highly linked to our emotions. I would even go as far to say, and some neuroscientists say this as well, so it's not complete bollocks, that without emotions, we are not able to make decisions. Emotions help us interpret a situation. If I land on your website and the wording or the way it's been put down makes me feel like, oh, I don't really understand this. This isn't really clear. I'm going to go away from your website. Same if I walk into a room. If somebody's there that I really like, I might fancy him or her, I'm going to stay in that room, aren't I? It's the same for your website. So emotions are a very complex process in our decision making, all right? To do that, we have loads of neurotransmitters and hormones. It's a very complex process. This is also the moment I make my way over here, because I made notes on what those hormones and neurotransmitters are. So I'm going to look super relaxed, but I'm actually going to look here at these words because I don't want to get them wrong. All right, so the first hormone that happens in our brain when we want to make good decisions is oxytocin. Oxytocin is the trust hormone. It's actually a neuropeptide that shows us, is this person trustworthy? Is this person or this product or this solution or this web page a space where I want to be? Do I trust this person? Then we have the AVP hormone. This is all about cooperation. It helps us in our social decision-making process. Then we have testosterone, a hormone we're all familiar with, I think, and this is all about competitiveness. You know when you're on Instagram and you're scrolling around and you see beautiful cars, people on the beach, they're all on holiday and you're at home working. Testosterone starts flooding your brain because you think, I want that too. Why don't I have that? And you start booking that expensive holiday, or you might buy the expensive car. That's testosterone. Not great for financial decision making, but it does happen in that part of the brain. Then we have serotonin, all about impulsivity. Okay? You know when you're in a supermarket and you've got your shopping list, you're walking around the supermarket trying to desperately avoid the aisle with all the crisps and the sweets and the chocolates. You get to the counter, you're putting your stuff on the belt, and you see a Snickers bar. We all know how that story ends. Okay? That Snicker bar comes home with you because your body thinks, okay, I've done really well. I've got the damn lettuce, I've got the damn tomatoes, I deserve a treat. We want to get that dopamine hit. Which brings us to the last hormone that we want to speak to when we are talking about decision making, which is dopamine, the reward hormone, okay? This hormone helps us to make the right decisions. It measures the value against the outcome. Like I said, very, very complex process. And how do we do that? How do we speak to those hormones? How do we manipulate the brain to make the right decisions and to make those decisions quicker than they normally would? Storytelling. All right, so storytelling is a framework that I use with loads of my clients to help them structure a story in a quicker way, a more effective way, but mainly a way that converts people from your page way quicker. It also improves your user experience on the page, and it diversifies the way we talk about our product or our service. So, how does it work? This is the framework. Hello, framework. I'm going to talk about these individually in a second, so don't worry about it. This framework, you can start using that today. If you've got a notepad with you or a phone to make notes of this part, because you can put this onto your existing content that you're working on right now. Because this can be used for every niche, it can be used for every audience, and it can be used for every single industry. That's the beauty of it. So part number one, building the world. Now, if we think about the word build, and I looked it up in the English dictionary, it states to make something by putting bricks or other materials together. In SEO, your other materials are words, okay? We want to build that world. As soon as people land on our page, we want to create this space for them where they can feel, oh, okay, I want to be part of this. And how do you do that? By speaking to their emotions. If I ask you all to close your eyes, all right, I'm not going to do anything scary, just close your eyes for a second. If I say you're standing in a meadow, and you've got that 4 o'clock sunshine on your face, you know, that nice one that doesn't hurt, doesn't burn, it's just nice and warm. There's a slight breeze, again, not a cold breeze, nice and warm. Somewhere in the distance, you hear a river just trickling along very nicely. You might hear a bird or an owl, something like that. If you open your eyes again, we were just all in the same place. Your meadow might have looked different to mine, but we all have the same starting point. And that's what it's about. Then most people go wrong. They start talking about their solution. Look how great I am, look at what I do. We don't care yet. We haven't built that emotional urgency yet. Because the more emotional urgency you build, the more and the bigger that relief is. So the more of those hormones, those good hormones, are coming into my brain to help me make that decision. So we talk about the problem. And I know when I get to a website, I think I know what my problem is, but I want to know that you understand my problem. So you become a mind reader. You show them, I know exactly what your problem is. This is it. Then, we still don't talk about your solution, all right? Wait with that. We are not emotionally invested enough. Talk about the challenge. Now again, I've looked this word up in the English dictionary, and it says, something that needs great mental or physical effort in order to be done successfully, and therefore tests a person's ability. That's pure fucking gold. I'll tell you why. Something that needs great mental or physical effort. People are lazy. You can use that to your advantage, okay? We don't want to put in loads of mental and physical effort to solve our problem. Tell me how hard this problem is to solve. Right now, in this world that we live in today, we've got all of our solutions right at our fingertips. You don't want to cook? You order food. You don't want to go to school? Do a course online. Doesn't matter. Same goes for the problem. Show me that I'm doing the right thing in coming to you for help. Now I'm invested. Now I want to know how you propose I solve this. So that's when we come in with our solution. There you go, the answer to the problem. You show them angel choir singing, ah, beautiful, there it is. This is your solution. This is what I do. And then you show them the new world. You show them this beautiful new world. You lift up the curtain in full Technicolor, and they go, wow, I want some of that. I want my life to be like this. And that's what it's all about. Only then do you show your results, okay? Now I'm emotionally invested enough to want to build that trust. Show me, prove to me that you've done this before and you know how to do this. Show me that this is possible for me. Make me believe that you can solve my problem. That's the basis of the framework. There's one last part that we need to talk about right here. I see this in so many sales calls. I see this in all the content out there. I see this on sales pages, home pages. You've just spent all of this time telling me why I should buy your product, why I should buy your service, why your solution is the best, but you forget to tell me how. How do I get it? Ask for the sale. Tell me what to do. I'm now completely at your mercy because I'm thinking, oh my God, this is my savior, this is fantastic, and then nothing, all right? Tell me what I need to do. Give me value, give me information, tell me what I need to do, and at this point, I will do it because those hormones and those neurotransmitters are fired up in my brain, so make use of it. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, I can just throw this into ChatGPT. You can. You could do that. There's one problem, however, with AI, and this is coming from somebody who knows very little about tech. But in my opinion, with the rise of AI, we've seen a loss of AI. And with that I mean we've seen a rise in artificial intelligence, but a loss in authentic identity. Stop making AI do the thinking for you. By all means, let it do the work. But we can't tell AI to, our experiences, how we feel about things. So don't delegate the thinking to AI, delegate the execution to AI. And you will see that that sales page of yours, that home page of yours, or any other content out there will start flying through the roof. All right, I know it's almost lunchtime. I know you're excited for lunch. I hope this was a good and fun time for you. I just want to leave you with 3 things. Number 1, storytelling is crucial, okay? This is what you have to do. You can't get around it. But number 2, it's not as wishy-washy as you might have thought, okay? We can do all these things with it. There are frameworks. There are ways of using this. So don't worry about it, yeah? And number 3, AI, definitely here to stay. Big fan, especially for someone who is a non-native. Big fan of ChatGPT, so don't come for me. Just make sure that you still keep the human in your content. I'm going to be here all day. If you want to have a chat to me about what I spoke about today, you want to share your ideas, by all means, come up to me. Let's have a chat. And if you don't have time, you can find my information here. You can find me on LinkedIn under Pascalle Bergmans, or you can email me on pascalle@presenttales.com. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of Brighton SEO.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.